was staying in Makkah one summer, living in a somewhat large apartment that was directly beneath King Fahd Mosque. A group of us were there to study under the Imam, with the days being full of lessons and prayer, while the nights were meant for rest and reflection. The space was cramped but manageable. Besides, we were young and focused on our studies, so it didn't matter too much. That night my roommates had all fallen asleep quickly. However, I laid awake, staring at the ceiling, unable to drift off. It was stiflingly hot, and the air felt heavy and humid. I had one leg bent at the knee, trying to get comfortable, when suddenly, something grabbed me and shook me hard. For a second, I thought that one of the guys was messing with me. My eyes darted around the room, but everyone was sound asleep. My heart thudded in my chest. I reached over to the guy closest to me and shook him awake. He groggily opened his eyes, blinking at me in the dark. I told him what happened, how something had just grabbed and shaken me. He just rubbed his face, too tired to even take me seriously. "You're probably just imagining things," he muttered. "Just go sleep in the other room." Reluctantly, I gathered my blanket and slipped into the second bedroom down the hall. I expected to finally be able to find some peace in here, but instead, this room was just as unsettling as the first. The overhead light was flickering, casting jumpy shadows along the walls. And worse, the ceiling fan was swinging back and forth, but its blades weren't spinning. It was completely off, yet it continued to creak, as if someone or something was purposely swinging it side to side. "Weird," I muttered under my breath, trying to shake it off. The three guys in that room were completely fast asleep. So I lay down in an empty spot on the floor, telling myself I was mocking things. After all, we were in Makkah, a sacred city. 5 minutes later, I was almost asleep when the door burst open. The same guy who had told me to switch rooms came running inside, eyes wide with fear. "Something," he gasped, clutching his throat. Something grabbed me. He had been lying in the dark when an unseen force had suddenly pinned him down, one hand covering his mouth so he couldn't scream, the other pressing against his chest so hard he couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. I thought I was going to die. In that moment of sheer panic, he managed to force out, "A'udhu Bilal." The instant he said it, the grip vanished. He bolted upright, gulping air, and ran straight to us. His description matched what I had felt earlier. Then same powerful, unseen force was in that apartment with us. We didn't know what else to do, so in the middle of the night we phoned the Imam. He answered groggily, but didn't hesitate when we told him what happened. Within half an hour, he arrived at the apartment, his face grave. He listened carefully to our accounts, then said nothing. Instead, he recited Quran softly under his breath as he walked through each room, pausing in the doorway of the flickering room for a long moment. Finally, he returned to us and said simply, "I will stay here tonight." We fell same fame. We stayed in that building for the remainder of the summer. Even now, years later, I can still remember the feeling of that invisible hand gripping me, shaking me with such force. Every night before I close my eyes, I whisper the full prayer that saved my friend. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed devil.